Once again, we'd like to welcome everyone to Randy and Candy Yao's Extreme Desire podcast, where we meet, talk, learn, and hear from some of the legends and people in the real world of hunting, where we keep things down to earth with real people.
Well, this week we're going to be visiting with some good friends of ours, Jeff and April Mack. They live in the small town of Scio, Oregon. Jeff is a fireman. April works for the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. Great people, great outdoorsmen and women. And let's get to know them a little better. I'm sure you'll enjoy the show, so stay tuned.
Recording.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Can hear you. Can you see
Is
you?
everybody in there?
I think so.
See everybody? Yeah.
We'll see
there
everybody.
You go.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a cool deal.
Right on. All right. Let the games begin.
Introduce them.
Do you feel like you're in an airplane with the headphones? You know.
No.
Breaker,
No,
one
okay.
time.
No.
Oh, okay.
I've never flown an airplane, so.
Oh.
They have these in all the fire engines, so that's what it's like.
So it feels like to you, it's a fire engine?
Yeah.
There's a fire truck.
Yeah. Make the siren stop.
Okay, we're here today with Jeff and April Mack, very good friends of ours. Help us a lot with the ladies' camp. Gone hunting together, which was a hoot twice, actually.
Yes.
And we're just going to get to know a little bit more about them.
Yes, April works for Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, and Jeff is,
Deputy Fire Marshal.
yeah, I
Same
knew he
fire
was a
department.
fire marshal, but I wasn't sure what your official status was called.
Deployed.
Deployed?
Employed.
Oh, employed. I thought I said deployed. Like, wow, they deploy you. Yeah. Well, we went hunting twice.
Yes.
Where did we go hunting twice?
Well, we went blacktail hunting here one day.
That's right.
That was my first blacktail experience.
I can remember the elk hunt, but I didn't remember. I forgot about the.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun, and I did see one little buck, and I just was really stupid and didn't pull the trigger. But other than that, it was a blast.
It was fun.
Except for it was really cold.
It was solid fog.
Yes.
And frozen and wet
Yeah.
and miserable.
Typical valley weather.
Yeah. This is
And
Oregon
as
Valley.
all of you know, when Randy's out hunting, it's Mach 9,000.
I was
And
not. leading
I got
this
in
one.
trouble 5 times here for going too fast.
That was April.
That was me.
I was just trying to keep up with Randy, who wasn't ahead of me.
We need to slow down because I think we just blew by a deer. Oh, they probably just blew by another one.
She was on a roll. She was
I
going
was.
someplace and
I
had
think
no
I was
idea
trying
where.
to stay warm.
Well, and I
Keep my
finally
blood
had to ask
pumping.
Randy, has she ever hunted blacktail before?
No,
It's like, no. It's like, oh, okay. That makes sense.
I was on an elk hunt or mule deer. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Trying to stay warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you do for ODF&W?
I am, for the fish division, the rules coordinator. And so anytime there's changes with the rules, whether it be one of the fisheries gets shut down or we need to change the limits, anything like that, I am told what the changes are, and then I have to implement the paperwork with this Secretary of State.
Mm-hmm. So you are in the fish side of it now.
I'm on the fish side of it, yes.
You used to be in controlled hunts, right?
Yeah, I was down there for about 3 years or so got to know a lot of the landowners and dealing with the landowner program, and learned a lot about the regulations and the hunts and my units, and so actually I learned quite a bit while I was down there.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's cool. I remember calling you to complain about something. You know, every now
He
and
didn't
then.
draw a bighorn sheep tag, so he called April to complain.
Yeah.
I usually get
I've
that.
been doing
Hey, I
that
need
now
a-
for, about 40 years. Every year. It does me no good.
That's probably why.
I guess I'm just out of luck.
Yeah.
Your number
Yeah.
shows up and they said,
They're gonna when I'm 100 years old, they're gonna, let's give him a tag because he ain't gonna be able to get out of the house. It's all right. Whatever. Anyway, so what do you do as a fire marshal?
a whole gamut of stuff. My expertise is fire investigations. So after the fire happens, I figure out what caused it. But
Or
also
who.
doing building inspections and things like that. So typical government job.
Cool.
Yeah. And you guys like to hunt, obviously.
Yes, that's pretty much 10 months out of the year.
10 months, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I know
usually
how that goes.
considered to be more of an obsession than a hobby for us.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how it works. Right.
That's all we
Because
do.
when the months that you're not actually hunting, you're thinking of hunting and planning your hunting and trying to get all your tags and
training,
my next
and
plan.
Helping. They do a lot of helping of
I
other
was gonna
people.
say, we probably better reduce that to 9, because if we go 10, that means we've got a month of poaching in there.
Oh, that's right. 9 months, sorry.
Ooh, yeah,
And nobody's supposed to know about that one.
Too late.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So they do a lot of. You do a lot of bird hunting.
We do upland, waterfowl, big game, turkey. So
We've only done the big game with you, but we've got to learn to do so. Like I was just telling Riza, the only bird hunting I've ever done is checker hunting.
oh yeah,
So
yeah,
be pretty cool. Now I have a really nice Weatherby shotgun. I need to go learn to use it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've done a lot of bird hunting, just haven't done a lot lately. But
yeah. I think
It's
my
fun.
my
It's all
favorite
fun.
is probably goose. Laying down in your blinds, and when they start doing what we call the goose NATO, circling over you and starting to come down, that's pretty cool because they get close enough. You can hear their wings, you can hear them talking, and I don't know. Duck is fun, but I think goose is my favorite.
Yeah, and
waterfowl.
if we were really good at it, but we got to give a lot of credit to our friends because they're the ones that take us out with them on goose hunting, and they know their stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cool.
we used to do a lot of it. Only on our side, we lay on the ice.
Yeah, that's probably why I haven't done any
Lay it
of
on
it.
the ice and cover
Yeah.
up with sheets and multiple things that you sit there and freeze or burn for hours, and then a goose comes in and
Yeah.
shaking like a dog crapping peach piss and can't hit the dang things, but it's fun.
That'd be me.
Yeah, it's much different than archery. In archery, you sweat to death, and waterfowl, it's cold. It's very cold.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then we've also got coming up because we did get our Southwest bear tags.
Oh,
So
cool.
we got that, and then plus turkey season
And
starting
do
up
spring
too.
bear. Right,
Yeah.
right. That's what Reason and
So
Tim are
you're
going to be
about
doing.
to get busy.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we got South Central bear tags, so we'll go play around over there a little bit when we have time, closer to home, and see what we can do when we have time.
All right.
Get ready for everything else, but the ladies' camps that's where we met these guys, actually, is a lady
Yep.
camp. They came in April.
I
Came
called
and helped with
April
shotgun.
out of the blue, and somebody had recommended her for a shotgun. And I didn't know the whole story till last year, because you were with us the very first year.
Second year.
Second
year.
year.
Second year.
So they said, wow, if you could get a hold of April Mack, she's super good with shotgun, get her to bring the ODF and W trailer over with all the stuff in it. And I was like, oh, that'd be such a blessing rather than trying to locate a bunch of shotguns. And so I called her, and she said yes, but she was offended because she really loves to teach archery. Well, I didn't know this till last year. So, but now I don't know if we can never get rid of her on the shotgun range because she's so amazing.
I love to teach shotgun. I like to teach archery, but it's pretty fun to see these ladies' expressions when they shoot a shotgun for the first time, and some of them are just amazed at that they can actually do it. I mean, the confidence that they walk up or walk away from compared to very timid and not wanting to really handle the shotgun when they first come up to me. But it's all about letting them know that they are calling the shots as far as what they want to shoot, if they just want to shoot it once and then be done, or if they just want to sit and watch all the other ladies shoot. But it's pretty cool to see just the reactions of after they shoot it for the first time. It's pretty awesome.
Right. It is pretty cool. I watched a little bit. I try to go to each class, and I actually went and shot with April last year in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't make it in Oregon in time because I kind of stay busy. But that was a blast. But then I watched how she interacted with the other ladies, and the building of the confidence was like, you don't have to do if you don't want to, but I'm here to help you if you do. And I don't think anybody didn't shoot, did they?
I think I had one. I will usually have one lady out of each camp that she just is, too afraid to. And that's fine.
Sure.
Who knows? Maybe she'll come back the next time and give it a try, or, maybe she thought about it and did it on her own with some guidance.
Sure.
And, you
Or
never
she might
know.
want to just shoot pistols or archery or rifle.
Yep. Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Jeff, he helps out there at the rifle or at the shotgun range, and with just about everything, the cooking and the entertainment. And
Yeah. I got out of building the barn.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're still trying to fix that. Yeah, no.
we did throw something a little different at Jeff last year. John and Heather Aldrich have always done. Every Sunday morning we have a church service, and it's something we will never quit doing. But when we moved to Utah, I didn't have anybody for it, and I didn't really want to do it myself. So I just asked Jeff if he would do it last year, and he just stepped up. He gave one of the best sermons I've ever heard. So that was pretty cool. So you guys are involved in every aspect of just about all of it.
Yeah, I was excited because when you had called, asked April, said, "Hey, when you guys want to do this?" Like, yes.
Cool.
It was really cool. We had a lot of compliments on that. Just basically talked about God and being you explain it just
following God's will, and we all too much want to put our own selves out there and do what we want, but we don't follow what God wants us to do. And using the whole archery as the example with the arrow.
Yes.
It was kind of funny, though, because he uses the analogy of the 3 veins, and the arrow that he picked up had 4 veins.
I don't think anybody caught that, though, did they?
I don't know.
No, not right after he just whipped out his benchmate and sliced off a vein.
There you go.
Or one vein short of a full set of veins.
Yeah, I was really proud of him. It was fun to watch him to do this sermon, and then I just was kind of standing around looking at all the other women, listening to him, and pretty soon they're all crying. And
yes.
It was pretty, pretty impactful for some of these ladies.
Yeah, that's what made it tough, because I'd look and all of a sudden I'd see somebody crying. It's like, can't look that way. Can't look that way. No, can't look that way. Like,
I'll look at the ceiling.
Yeah. I'll look at the fireplace behind me, because then I won't start crying.
Yeah, right. My back is to you for a reason.
I think, though, one of the things we found, and each year it gets more and more so with the ladies' camp, is every woman has a story, and they come there, and everybody in the whole world has a story. But I think in this camp in particular, a lot of ladies come here to heal a soul, something in the past, or to build enough confidence they can overcome a hurdle. And so it is really emotional for them. And the stories around the campfires can get pretty touching. There's a lot of tears, but there's a lot of healing. And because of that, I think the close knit between not only our instructors and volunteers, but the students themselves, we build this just beautiful relationship that lasts forever. I see them ask you questions on social media. I see them come to everybody and say, hey, what should I,
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Well, and the camaraderie that these ladies create amongst themselves, just the participants. I mean, they build relationships with us, but among themselves, I've heard that these ladies that met at this camp, they're actually now hunting partners.
Yes.
And they grow and they're learning, this together, and just kind of this path that they're walking on together as they're growing in this. And it's pretty amazing, because just like with any other sport, hunting can be competitive. You have your people that, segregate between rifle or archery, but just to see these ladies come together just for a passion that they share, and to build off of what you have created it's just so inspiring. It's pretty cool.
Thank you. But you guys are involved in a lot of other stuff too, helping with youth, and I know you do some 3D hunts, and you teach a lot through ODFW.
Shoots.
Yeah, I know you guys are, shoots.
3D shoots. Yeah.
Shoots.
They're not hunting 3D targets.
We have,
Well, they might be.
That's what that 1 month they were talking about earlier.
That's right.
Yeah, he's out poaching 3D
that's
targets.
when I'm running out through the woods and I bob and weave, and she's chasing me.
Serpent time.
So we do a lot of volunteering for Fish and Wildlife, and we run dogs. We have some bird dogs, so we'll run dogs for the pheasant workshops that they do. We've helped out with duck hunting, where we brought our dogs, and then we've taught archery, we've taught shotgun. We
have 2 hunter ed.
Yeah,
we coming up soon.
We teach hunter ed as well. And what's really cool about that is I had a student 2 years ago. He was in my class, and then last year he had harvested an elk. And so, wasn't part of his elk hunt, but it was kind of cool to see that he, attended our workshop and then was able to go out and
cool.
be successful about it. And so that was pretty cool. So.
Yeah, the rewards you get from these things like this are just so awesome, and without being the cliche tagline with it, but to see the smile on people's faces having success is just the best feeling ever. And it's like when we've helped with the pheasant hunts. You take somebody out and you teach them how to shoot a shotgun. By the time they start, they can't hit anything, and then they're hitting every clay pigeon you throw out there. And then you take them out and they get their first pheasant, and just the excitement they have. It's so awesome.
Yeah. The cool part of that too is our son. He's 17 now, but he's been helping us since he was 14, 15, as an actual shotgun coach.
Oh, cool.
And this kid, he can pretty much hit a clay with his eyes closed, and it was really cool to see him out there. I remember on one pheasant hunt, we were over in Maupin, and we had them all lined up on the clays, and he had this older gentleman that he was helping to teach, and by the time he was done with them, that gentleman was shooting. He was hitting these clays because of our son being able to instruct him and walk him through it, and it was pretty proud parent moment.
Yes.
But yeah,
there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, and he also helps us with the archery workshops and
the hunter
ed and things like that.
He's a junior hunter ed instructor too.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of a whole family thing for us.
That's cool.
That's what it's all about. Keep everybody involved.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's where we always end up getting to, and all of the things we talk about is that's why we do what we do. Obviously, to get more people involved, get the ladies involved, the youth involved, and bring families together to do things together. I mean, we can all go out, and I've done it a lot. Years gone by where I'm just a one-man band and go gung-ho wherever and whatever. But being able to come back to camp and hang out and laugh and play and have a good time has become, it's such a huge part of it, And so anybody that doesn't get to, they're missing out, if you don't have that part.
Yeah. Yeah, I took a young lady out to mentor her in her first archery deer hunt, and she was successful her first year, and just, oh my gosh, I just remember start to finish that hunt. I think it was as memorable to me as it was for her, and it was along with harvesting this deer and walking her through the process. It was pretty cool because she was so appreciative of me teaching her. I taught her how to skin it, how to gut it out. We brought her back here and we hung the deer and we showed her how to, skin it out. And she was just asking these question after question after question, just totally absorbing it. But before she actually, made the kill, it was just really cool to kind of watch her as we would see, we get out there before it's dark and you see things come to life, the birds and the chipmunks and, the weather. And it was pretty cool for her to see. She comes from a hunting family, but they're all rifle, and she shoots archery competitive in high school. And so this was her first actual archery hunt, but just to be out there to see the world come to life at, 6:30 in the morning, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, you talk about people with archery or rifle or whatever. And, I'm not a purist, and I've said it 1,000 times, and I encourage people not to be purists. Go enjoy all aspects. If you hunt only one thing, you're pretty much limited to a very short period of time.
Yeah, they're not going to have all the seasons you have.
That's why I don't have. That's why we have 9 months, because we hunt archery, we hunt rifle, we hunt muzzleloader. I'll hunt with a spear if they let me. I mean, just let me go hunting. Or let me be out there. Yeah. That's what it's all about. So.
I think the being out there is as much, you were saying, you watching them, as the sun's coming up. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people in this world never sat outside and watched the sun come up, and to watch, God paint that beautiful sky, and to hear the birds, and to, walk in the dark and sneak up on or try to be a part of nature and become part of it is so overwhelming and so wonderful. And it does help you appreciate it more when you do harvest something. Sometimes you curse the blisters and the sore aching body, but
Yeah. Well, Jeff took out Tristan, and we all were archery hunting, and they went across one side and I was on the other, and they were within, I don't know how many yards of a set of twin little fawns.
Aww.
They just walked right towards them.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You can't see that sitting on your couch watching TV or whatnot. But
Nope.
Yeah, well, we were just hunting out back when, I think 2 years ago, and Tristan was sitting there, and all of a sudden, these 3 deer came over and just jumped right over the top of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dead sprint right over the top of him.
Yeah, you get out there and you have experiences. I mean,
Yes.
you never know what's going to happen. It's just like, this year with Adam Weatherby, and then we took him sheep hunting. It's like we had so many weird things happen that
my
week
gosh.
that they were like, "This is crazy." I said, "Well, weird things happen, and so many different little experiences."
He has an incredible camera person that just, he sees it. That's all he does, and he says, "I've never got this many, as they call B-rolls, in one hunt in my life." It's just crazy.
Yeah,
But,
and
yeah.
I went on a cow hunt here, back in December, and that's one of those experiences you get that nobody else gets to experience. And we had all these cows, but they were going off the private property we're at to somebody else's, so we couldn't get to them. And then we saw a spike and a cow take off in other directions, so we went that way. Well, then when we got back to where I was at, that spike came right back towards me. And I was standing behind a tree, and he comes walking along, and as soon as he walks by, sticks his nose on me, smells my arm, and just keeps walking. And it's
Wow.
like, I wanted to reach over and slap him on the butt so bad, but then what? Yeah, well, and then there was two thoughts. It's like, if I do that, and he's either going to kick me, or the cow's coming back too, and I'm going to mess this all up.
Right.
But then he just walked by, and it's like, dang it, I missed my chance.
Oh, I know.
That would have been hard. I would have
I've done
just reached out, just smack that pig.
Yeah. I have swatted them before with my bow, with my arrow. And you do think about getting kicked because, it's cattle and stuff, and how they react. The first thing is, and they're pretty accurate, That's what I tell people. If that mule almost kicked me, and I said, then it didn't mean to kick you.
Yeah.
It was just scaring you. If it meant to kick you, you would have got kicked.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, it's fun. When, like this year, we went archery hunting with April and Jeff up in 100-degree weather and sweated to the oldies up there in northeast Oregon this year and had a good time. Weather didn't cooperate real well, but
No. But
at least the
was
time
smoke.
we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you guys stayed a few days later, and April got her a nice bull, and a 3-horn bull. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep. My 2x3x4.
2x3x4.
Not too many people can say that.
Yeah, and the looks I get when I explain that to him. She has no idea what she's talking about.
Yeah.
I should have killed the bear up there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But
We saw some whitetails. I got hooked on them. They're amazing.
Yes. There was quite a few, and we saw a lot of them after you guys left. We saw a lot with twins,
I'll be
and
darned.
I guess they drop later than mule deer. I think I'm trying to remember how the biologist explained it, but I think they drop. He was saying that the mule deer they drop sooner, and so they have more predators on them than the whitetail, and so that's why we see more whitetail. With the babies, I'm trying to remember how he was explaining it.
Well,
but
that
I
makes
think that's-
sense.
Yeah,
Makes
yeah,
sense.
it was interesting, but
Coming out of the winter, the predators are gung ho, and
yeah, those little whitetail though, they are very curious.
Are
Very
they?
curious. Yeah, it was pretty fun Jeff was messing with one of the babies, just kind of playing with her a little bit, but it was kind of fun to watch. So.
Yeah, and then we had a calf at like 5 yards.
Yeah.
And just come trotting up there completely away from everybody else, and then had the same 5-point raghorn, and we were on him 4 or 5 different times.
Yeah.
And we even sat underneath this tree and we're taking a nap, just resting. All of a sudden, April looks over, and there he is feeding like at 60 yards away in this thick trees. So I tried to put a stock on. Of course, it didn't happen, but off he went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we walk off in frustration just to bust him again.
yeah, that's why they call it hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the ups and downs and the funs but we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of giggles and laughs.
We did. Yeah, and it was fun just to hear him respond and then just to charge after them. Randy and I went after one, and oh my gosh, that was so much fun. You just screaming at him, and then you just charging at him, and
Yeah. I get up there and says, go, no, I mean run. Get up there.
And she did.
And we had about 5 minutes before dark when he come charging down in her face, but it was fun.
yeah.
Yeah, we heard a lot of elk. The elk, even as hot as it was, they were talking and responding. They weren't necessarily coming in, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think for the 2 weeks that we were there, I think there was only one hunt that we went on that we didn't see any elk, but the rest of the time, not always within shooting distance, but we saw elk pretty much the whole time. It was just amazing. Just amazing.
I'd go
Beautiful
back
unit.
again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just can't get the dang tags enough, huh?
Yep.
But there's some great over-the-counter tags here in Oregon, too. I mean, it's not, you got to deal with more people, but
Yeah.
it's still good. But
I'm going to go to the zoo.
there you go.
There.
Maybe get one of those black and white striped elks.
So you guys doing any plan on putting in out of state this year anywhere, or
Not this year. And the reason why is because with our son graduating high school this year,
Right.
a lot of stuff going on there. And so different things in the works. So it's like, well, we're going to hold off this year.
See
The
where
next
you're
year
at.
we'll,
Sure.
yeah, we'll be full bloom going. I'll put in for Wyoming antelope again.
Buy
try for
points.
that,
We want to buy, you can buy points in Wyoming. I mean, anybody don't know that you can go online and buy a point in Wyoming for any species, just like buying a box of cereal at the store. You can get online after July 1st and buy a point. It's like putting money in the bank. If you want to go hunt out of state, you got to have some points, and it makes it to where you're guaranteed tags and good time. Montana just started that last year. You can do the same thing there after July 1st, which is great, man. You don't miss any of those where you just go buy a point, because somewhere, some way, you may want to go shoot an antelope or a mule deer or a elk or whatever the case may be, and if you got a couple points in your pocket, you can probably get a decent. Wyoming, the general tag takes 2 points at this point in time, just to have the one that the residents buy over the counter. So, if you get a couple points saved up, you can have a good tag, and it's a great hunt. We've done the general hunt a few different times over there, and always have great success and some good animals in there. But so, one thing to always think about: take advantage of the ones that are very easy.
Yeah, we've been to Montana twice, hunted, not antelope, but we did elk and deer, and that was it was interesting. We showed up, and one day it's 70 degrees, and the next day we wake up and there's 3 inches of snow on the ground.
Oh, wow.
Not ready for that.
No, well, I've done it in Colorado one time. It was several years back. Just an over-the-counter archery tag. So it's in the middle of September, and it was, upper 60s for a few days. Go to bed. Next thing I know, in the middle of the night, I wake up with a tent on top of me. There's a foot of fresh, wet snow, and it caved our tent in. Of course, my dad and them are laughing in the other tent. They think this is funny. It's like, couldn't anybody have warned us, Robert Bonine and them?
Of course not.
Shocker. We just assumed you guys would be smart enough to brush the snow off your tent. It's like, well, if we don't have to get up and go to pee, we didn't notice.
I'm getting a pattern here that if Robert's name's involved or Neil's name's involved,
Something went wrong.
Gonna break, something's gonna happen, somebody's getting hurt.
At least you're going to laugh.
Well, yeah, you throw Neil in there, somebody dang sure getting hurt.
Horses go off
Usually
the cliff.
it's Neil, though. That's the only good thing, Because by the time he went off the cliff and he landed on his head, good thing he landed on his head, because we know he can't hurt that. He might have damaged a rock or two on the way down, but
You're so loving to your friends.
oh, he's a good friend. He'll get even, I guarantee it.
I know.
Yeah, I've learned a lot about my friends this last week.
Yeah.
We won't go there right now. Yeah, but that's what it's all about: getting together, having fun. The good and the bad and the ugly, and we've had some pretty good injuries out there at times, and they're serious. We laugh about them now, but at the time it wasn't funny. But it's dang funny now, and we had everybody that survived it so far.
So far.
We've
So
had
far, we're
broken
good.
legs, broken arms, lots of different things.
Well, there's the other stuff that just happens because, like, us getting the flat tire, then
Right.
and then we end
King
up
of flats.
we end up buying new tires over there because we kept getting flat when we packed April's bull out.
Yeah.
Tires were almost flat again, so like that's enough. Your radiator hose and
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
Oh,
you got
it's-
to roll with it,
It's always got to, you've always got to be kept guessing.
and that's what
Yeah.
you do. If you don't roll with it and you take everything so serious, you
won't
can
be
ruin
any
your
fun.
hunt or
Oh, yeah.
your experience. So you just got to this is part of our adventure,
Yep.
Yeah.
and away we go.
I would have loved to seen people's expressions on there driving by you sleep on the quad off the side of the road.
Hey, I had an issue. I was falling asleep. You're not supposed to sleep and drive. I have done that a time or two, and Candy don't like it.
I don't like it.
Of course, up there, I'm sure it was probably something they normally see, so it probably wasn't that big of a deal.
I was trying to get back to camp, but my eyeballs wouldn't stay open.
Yeah.
So just take a nap.
There you go.
Getting up before daylight and getting to bed after dark, how it
We
works.
did several nights in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
But one buddy of mine, he can't figure it out. He says he woke up one morning and he goes, Yow, have you ever thought of actually start hunting at daylight instead of in the middle of the night. Why do you have to walk in the dark for 3 hours? I don't get it. It's like you just go walk in the dark for 3 hours and then wait for daylight. He goes, we can wait for daylight at camp. Like, well, that ain't how I work. I want to be where I want to be when the daylight comes.
That's right. Never mind all the or animals that you walk right by,
That's
right?
all right.
But
I'm herding them.
yep. Oh, yeah.
I have a spot in mind, and I'm going to be there.
And I tell you what, after you guys left up there, I think this was the fun that we were having because there's people all over the place up there, and so we called these guys in, and we could see this guy rushing up after I was bugling and raking, and he comes running up there, and as soon as I see him, I just tell April, like, it's Hunter, let's go. So we back out. So these guys are down there screaming their heads off trying to bugle, and then lo and behold that we've already left the area.
So he throws one off at the top.
And then as soon as we get to the top, we get up there, and there's a guy sitting up there in a chair, away from any type of cars, and he's sitting in a chair, and he's just calf calling, just every 5 seconds. He's
in a chair.
Yeah.
And
He had
it's
no
like,
idea we were there.
Yeah.
Well, he was comfortable.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's like, oh my word! But just I had almost just much fun messing with everybody else that's up there.
Oh, it happens.
I've been called into a person too.
Well, you better check. That's
Yeah.
the thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
if you don't check,
I have
it could
messed
be
up
wool.
too. I've been in the middle of nowhere and thought, okay, that's a person for sure, and come to find out it wasn't.
Yep.
Vice versa. It's
Yep.
worked both ways. But I have learned it's better to go check it out, and because you never know.
Yeah,
you
he
know,
was
and,
convincing. I mean, he sounded really good. We thought it was a big old bull that was not happy with us, and so of course we're going to go check it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you better.
And then
Yeah.
we just made the visual contact first. And it's like, we get the upper hand.
But because man, I've heard some horrible elk. Horrible bugles, and they're elk.
Yeah.
I mean, elk.
Yep.
That's what I tell people. They get so wrapped up in trying to be this perfect caller. It's like, you don't have to sound perfect. You just have to say the right things at the right time, and because you don't. Some of the god awfulest sounds in the world they make. They have different voices just like we do. So
We were in the exact situation 2 years ago. We were all set up, and we had a couple bulls talking. We could hear cows, and pretty soon we came upon the cows, and they worked their way off, and just off in the distance was this person that sounded horrendous, and we're laughing and making jokes, and we're talking to him, trying to pull him in, and so we gather up, and we're talking, it's like, let's just go, and we're not going to waste our time. And then we thought, well, we better just double check. And so as we spread out, and this thing is just coming, and just I don't know what it was doing, and pretty soon here I see these tines coming up over the hill, and one of the guys that we were hunting with, I don't know if he thought I was not experienced, but he comes running up behind me yelling, "It's a bull!"
Oh no!
It was a bull.
It
Yeah,
was.
thanks
It's not
a
no
lot.
more.
Yeah.
Thanks for your.
But yeah, same
Thanks
exact
for the-
situation. This thing was
Tell me.
just horrendous sounding, but he was a pretty little satellite.
Yeah.
No, you can't always judge them by their sound. And I mean, we all do it, but man, I've seen some little guys that sound giant and some big guys that sound little,
I usually judge them by the blisters on my feet and my oxygen intake.
Yeah, this is a trophy now, right?
If it's at the top of that hill and I'm done, that's a person. I think I'll go downhill.
Yeah, well, that's it. Also, you'd start judging trophies by that too.
Yes.
After a while, it's like,
You do.
yeah, I don't care if it fits in a quart fruit jar. I'm shooting it. I've had it. Yeah,
No, we're not picky. We'll eat it.
that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Exactly.
But that's all fun, good times.
Yeah, because it's just like I heard something the other day about it. It's like, for April and I, we're freezer fillers. We're not
Exactly.
we're not
Yeah.
horn
Having
hunters.
fun. Yeah.
And it's like once we leave this earth, we can't take them with us. So that's why I don't worry about it.
No. You go have fun. That's what it's all about. And
Well, and there's experiences, because I did go on a couple hunts this year that were, supposed to be trophy, sort of trophy hunts, and we seen a couple trophies, got on them in Colorado, and we had a friend with us, and he spotted a buck, and he talked us all the way into it, and we got up there, and it was like 200-mile-an-hour winds, and he was 500 yards away. So
they were fast.
it might have
but
been
they
a
weren't
little
quite 200.
exaggeration.
Not
but,
quite 200 because most of the trees were not flying by us.
They felt like it.
No, okay. It was cold and
But
windy.
we crawled and knee crawled and belly crawled, and Randy's like, you don't have to take him if you don't want. He's certainly not what we drove to Colorado for. And I said, okay, I'll wait. And he went away, and then he came back. And then I'm just laying there thinking, okay,
The wind died down, and
I've shot out to 500 yards in practice, and I'm fine. I'm very confident, but I've never done it on an animal. And so he stood there in my crosshairs for forever and ever and ever and ever. And I thought, this is stupid. You're a hunter. Boom. But I learned stuff. And then I turned around and shot that far in my elk in Idaho. So, I took myself to another level. So it was a trophy.
it is. They're all trophies.
I'd miss it at 20 yards.
You would not.
I have acute cerebral palsy, and I get shaken so bad.
It's got a horn.
Cluster bomb.
Yeah, that is one of my ultimate, just sneak up on a big old muley deer. I mean, that's, we talk about being meat hunters, and we are. I'm obviously not going to pass something beautiful up if it comes in front of me, but that's always been, I've just been intrigued watching, people just do their stock on a big old buck that's bedded down for archery. And oh my gosh, every year I'm just, maybe this will be the year. 2 years ago we ended up shooting, I ended up shooting my little mule deer on the way into elk camp, and he was a spike. Not the big one I was going after, but he was good.
Tasted good. And it was an experience.
Yeah, it was quite the experience. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, sneaking up on it's a lot of fun. There's no doubt about that. It's a hoot and stock and stuff, and that everything can go so south so quick,
Yes.
But it's a hoot to do it.
Yeah, yep. The rush of it, just getting up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You start seeing their eyeballs blinking.
Yeah.
Like, hey, don't look at me.
Pretend I'm not here.
Yeah. No, usually if you're doing a muley, you're coming in from the backside. Yeah. Get it right, but
You gotta jump on its back.
You really want to do that. You want to hit the elk and you want to jump on the deer's back.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna punch it and knock it out.
yeah, hang on both hands, giddy up, go.
That's right.
Take that. I can't shoot you with a bow or a gun, so I'm just gonna knock you out.
There you go. Clobber him. No. So I guess we'll get ready to leave you guys alone, but I do want to say one thing. I learned a new word over at Reese's today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's called voluntold.
Voluntold?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she does with her husband said that, I get voluntold a lot. It's kind of like volunteering, only.
Told.
You're told to
You're
volunteer.
you're
That's our new
voluntold.
word.
So, yeah.
Voluntold.
There we
So,
go.
yeah, that's
Yeah, but
Remember that,
you
Jeff.
taught us a new phrase too.
well, I'm afraid that I don't even know which one it is. Makes me a bit nervous.
Cocoa and toast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. We did.
Cocoa and toast.
Yeah, them doggone.
You should have never taught it to him. We heard that the whole rest of the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's them stupid collared doves.
And it wasn't even me saying it; it was the dove.
The collared doves make that sound. Anybody that's heard a collared dove, and they make that, it sounds to me like they're saying cocoa and toast. But
So if you've never heard that before, now you're hooked.
yeah,
You'll do the same.
Yeah.
but
I couldn't help it.
yeah, that was nice. At least it was not too bad.
I've had to watch it a couple times already.
Yeah,
I've almost let something fly out.
yeah, that's weird.
I behaved.
Yeah, I kept thinking
quite
about
well.
I kept thinking about trailer balls and stuff, but we won't go there today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Inside joke. Okay.
That's how you know if it's a male or female trailer.
No, I'll tell you, you know the difference between a snowman and a snow woman? Snowballs. Yeah, that's right. That's what I was told. So,
I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah, I was going to say this is going to go really bad really quick.
okay, fine. Okay, well, been fun to visit with you guys, and we will no doubt talk soon.
Yes.
Talk soon.
Yeah.
Well, as we say, it's not always perfect, but it's always real.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's right.
Yep. Ladies Hunt Camp coming up close.
Yep.
Very close.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Cut.